All right, Jay. What experiences do you have with ability level grouping, either in your classroom or in your school?
I do ability level grouping in my it tracks them.
All right. If you had to implement within class ability grouping in your class, how would you do it and why?
If I had to implement in class ability, I would really put groups of the same levels together, because then usually their questions are similar, and so I can help them with those questions. Versus if it's too diverse in one group, some of the questions aren't useful, or I find aren't useful for multiple kids in a group if there's one high and one really low ability student. So yeah, I usually try and group low students together because they usually have similar questions, and middle to high students together because they have similar questions.
Okay. What effects have you witnessed on students as a result of ability level grouping, either in your classroom or in your school?
In the classroom, I find that ability level grouping is really useful for the instructor. But in a school, having ability level grouping where all low students are together is really detrimental. Or the opposite, high students all together actually I think can be detrimental, but not in their math ability. I think it's detrimental in their ability to be flexible with the general population. So I am very much so against ability level grouping if it's class by class. So having an entirety of low students all together in one course, I think is really detrimental to learning mathematics and actually their disposition towards mathematics.
From your perspective, how do your students perceive ability level grouping? Like, are they aware of it? Do they care about it?
They are aware of it. It's really bad when, or they're not really, those students are usually know themselves negatively. If there's ability level grouping, that negativity is not nearly as bad if it's in a classroom where there's also high level students. So they might know that there's a smart group on the other side of the classroom, but that doesn't bother them nearly as much as knowing that they're in the dumb class if they're all grouped together. So yeah, students do know of the ability grouping, but I think they're less cognizant of it if it's happening within a class. If there's high in one group and in the same class as high in, sorry, I said that wrong. If there's high in a group of four with in the same room, a low group of four, the low doesn't have as much of an issue with it.
All right, last one. Have your opinions changed about ability level grouping based on your teaching experiences? The
only change that I've had with the ability I actually know, and I think it's, or I was surprised when I felt like now high students, I feel like now high students that are placed in classes with lower students, they're better at dealing with the general population. And what I mean by that is, the high students that when I was in high school with high students, I would have hated being around any low students at all. And now I think since students are so used to having a mixed group in their classroom, that the high students are better dealing with people of lower ability. So I like not having it as tracked, simply because I think it gives the high ability students, it forces them to cater to everybody. It forces them to be able to build skills of interpersonal skills and stuff that's not related to mathematics.
So that's a different perspective than
And
you
that-
had before.
Yeah, I didn't have that perspective before because I felt like it didn't matter as much. And now I do think it matters.
Cool.
They were